Hi there, welcome back to my shop. For today's project, I have a block of Western red cedar. Now, one of the things I really like about Western red cedar is the aroma. I took it out from my wood pile and put it through the bandsaw just to straighten up these edges a little bit, and the whole shop smells of cedar, and it's just beautiful. One thing I don't like about it is that it's a very coarse wood. You have to keep your tools extremely sharp, especially on your finishing cuts. And that's going to be the challenge, as always, when turning cedar. I have found the nominal center. This piece is 6 inches by 6 inches, 8 3/4 inches long. And I'm going to put it on a face plate. So I found the center, as I said. I'll put this down on here. I'm going to mount it to this block with 1 3/4 inch long screws. I'll get that on there, and then let's take it over to the lathe. Hope you'll join me. Nicer, cleaner cut with the 3/8 gouge. I have never tried shellac on cedar before. So, wow, another experiment. We'll see how this turns out. I'll put on 3 or 4 coats anyway, and then I'm going to hit it with the Axe abrasive and polishing pastes, and see what kind of job this does. Now, I should point out, there seems to be a lot of dust coming off of here, unless it's just the color from the cedar, because I did clean that with denatured alcohol first. Just like glass. That was 4 coats of shellac, and then Axe polishing paste after his abrasive paste. What a beautiful job. I have the live center brought up in my tailstock, but it's not actually touching. Just in case there's a problem, it'll keep this from flying around should it lose its grip in the chuck. I'm going to be turning at 1000 RPM using my 3/8 inch bowl gouge. I do not want it to skate on this surface, so I'll be starting with it fully closed. In other words, the flute straight up and down. And I have to take off, I'm guessing, about 3/16 of an inch because of this little split right here. All right, let's clean that up. Oh! Well, this is the thing that I feared. Using a recess on a soft wood like cedar, it split it. I could say I'm not happy, but I don't like to understate things. Need to think about what to do with this now. All right, I have glued this with CA glue, trying to save this piece, but it's not back in precisely the way it was, so I have a feeling it's not going to be salvageable. If I manage to clean out the inside properly, which is doubtful, I'm going to have to re-sand and refinish the outside here and then reverse it and redo the bottom. I'm wondering if it's worth the effort, but I maybe should learn to be a quitter. Anyway, next thing on the inside, if it shows up, there's a little shelf where that larger bit went to, and then the area where the smaller bit went to. And now I'm going to need to do that with hollowing tools. I was hoping to avoid a little bit more of it, but that's all right. So I'll get my hollowing tools, also known as scrapers, ready to do the inside, and I'll use my 3/8 inch gouge to clean up this and start the hollowing. You're going to be able to tell right away that this is not running true. I've got it at 500 RPM. I'll get it spinning, and then I'm going to turn it up to 1000 and see if this is going to fly apart. Standing well out of the way. I needed to recut the lip because scraping does not work on something this coarse. I was just chipping it out. Well, this has got to be getting boring for you by now, so I won't show you any more of this until at least when I have to switch over to carbide tools. But I'll keep recording it, because if it does fly apart, I'd hate to have you miss that. I have a 2-inch sanding pad on an extension, shop-made extension that I made. I'm going to go in here with that to sand the bottom. Try to do a little bit on the sides with it, but for most of it, I believe I'm going to have to get in here with my strips of sandpaper and do it by hand. Now, there's no way I can get a camera to show you what I'm doing, so most of it I'm going to do without it, but I'll just give you a small example going in here on the bottom. Alright, this is going to take a long time, but I can see a little improvement on the bottom already. If you're interested in this, I will put a link to how I made this in another video. So I'll be back after I get this sanded, again, assuming it doesn't fly apart. I have to be honest, I'm not real happy with the inside of this vase. It's smooth enough, all right, but it's ripply. I can't seem to get in there and do a nice job with it, so I'm done. I'm not doing any more on the inside of this other than the axe pastes, assuming this survives the ride. Now when I do the outside, I'll be turning this in reverse at 500 RPM, and I'm going right back to 80 grit because this is really rough here. Got a lot of CA glue on it. I got to get rid of all of that. It's sanded back to 240, taking everything off. There's a little evidence of some of the shellac on there, but I don't think that's going to be any problem. You can see the crack there. I was going to try to disguise that, and I decided this was an oops, and you know, I'm going to feature that. Leave that there. Now you've already seen everything as far as the finishing goes, so I'm going to repeat those steps inside and outside, and I'll bring you back when I get this reversed because I have to turn the bottom off due to that crack. So sit back and relax. Have a Coke. I'll be back. Okay, I've got this reversed into a donut chuck. If you watched my last video, this might look smaller to you, and it's because I have a number of different sizes of donut chucks. This is just more convenient for something this small. Now I have to turn off this crack that's in here, which means I'm going to lose all of this pyrography, which I of course can do again. But if I'm going to have to turn this, I might as well slope this in and get rid of some of the evidence of just how this was chucked. I'm going to be turning this at 750 RPM using my 3/8 inch bowl gouge. Okay, I'm just going to do some sanding on this. Quite a bit of sanding where that crack is. Perhaps I'll have to fill that. I'll be back to show you the final result. Well, there's not too much more to say about this. This was not the most enjoyable turning I've ever done, but you know, it's better than not turning at all. And it's not horrible. I don't think I'll turn cedar again for a little while. But certainly learned a lesson on using a mortise or a recess on the bottom instead of a tenon. I really don't like using tenons because it's another step to take care of later, but sometimes it's a better idea. So if you're still with me, I want to thank you for joining me and sticking through this. I hope you'll have a great day in your shop and be safe. And come back and join me next time. Maybe I can do something just a little better than this one. I managed to get my autograph, the species and date in here, and there's very obvious evidence of the crack that was there. But you know, that could be a conversation starter. Someone can pick this up and say, boy, you sure screwed that up, didn't you, Gord? And that'll start a conversation. Anyway, I hope you will come back next time. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time back in the shop. Bye-bye now. Stay safe.